Many years ago, I was homeless, and being homeless is not a fun thing to be in, and especially being homeless in Chicago. There were shelters, but women weren't safe in the shelters. We were safer out at Garfield Park under the elm tree than we would have been in the shelters. I'm Linda Sokol Francis. I was in an abusive marriage and I ran away. At that time, I was 18. Then I was living on the streets because I didn't have money. I didn't have any place to live. I couldn't go apply for a job and give my phone number and my address because I didn't have an address and I didn't have a phone number. It wasn't that we weren't capable of working. It wasn't that we weren't smart enough to work. It was that we had no way to tell people who we were, and what we could do. I was fortunate enough to run into a lady who owned a temp company, and she liked what she saw, and I had the ability, I had the education to work, so she would put me in temp. Okay, so that worked out fine. She let me use her shower and her bathroom to get cleaned up and put clothes on and apply for a job, and I could use her address and her phone number. I've done financial planning for 45 years now. Been in Brookfield for 45 years. And then I opened up an office in 1975 here in Brookfield, right around the corner, and then I built my own building in 85 and been here ever since and hope to be here as long as the good Lord lets me. Beds is just a place that a person can have an address, a phone number, a computer, a place to stay if they need a place to stay, food if they need food, an opportunity to readjust their life and get into a position where they can actually be part of society. And that's where Beds fits in. Help them realize their own potential. Oh, it's special to me because I've been there and I've been through it and I know what it means. But people need help, and we can help. But it's solvable.
In my lowest point, I had nowhere to go, and I rode the rails, the L to O'Hare, and just ride them all night. My name is Ken. Well, I had hard problems at work, and I got sick, got into the hospital, and bills and everything started piling up. I lost everything in the midst of that. Well, I got out of the hospital and basically had nowhere to go. At first you start out friends and family and sleeping on couches, and when COVID hit, now you're fighting against not knowing where you're gonna sleep, not knowing where you're gonna get a meal, and not knowing if you're gonna die. And some people was just waiting to die. Saw a friend that had mentioned beds, and matter of fact, a couple of places, but Beds was the first to respond. Before I talked to her, nobody listened, nobody cared. After she listened to my situation, she said, "We can help."
I am Shannon Gould. I am clinical director here at Beds. Kenny is someone who'd been grappling with his own chronic health conditions and had been told that he could not work. So this left him with a very fixed, limited income. And he was placed here at one of our motel partners for shelter, where we've been able to provide direct case management service and ensure that we can provide transportation, help with medications that help him maintain his health.
This place and places like this that will help you and ask for nothing in return, I can't even put in words how I feel, but it's been a blessing. And I felt that in my lowest moment, I got help from an organization and people that didn't even know me.
My grandmother, she was 80, she was helping us, but she's gone. Like, I'm working 2 jobs. I can't even try to pay the bills. I'm giving the landlord everything I have, but it's just not enough. of their father is not paying the child support, and it has put me into a bind in so many different ways. All expenses that we have, that is like 60% of my income, and it's gone.
I don't know what to do. I had the surgery done, and I really needed to have it done, and I thought my insurance was going to cover it, but evidently not. And now it's adding on top of my rents and my utilities and all my monthly expenses. I just don't know what I can do.
Yeah, I'm behind on my rent. My husband and I both got our hours cut during COVID. He's trying to get something else to see if he can get full-time.
Hi, this is Brahma from Bits Plus. How are you doing today? Good. Actually, the call center gave me your phone number because you are looking for rental assistance. Is that correct? Yes. So we can work on things out on your back rent, but first I need a little information about you. So.
Bueno, yo me casé en junio del año pasado, ¿verdad?
I got married in June last year. The relationship was really good. I mean, a normal relationship.
Cuando estaba llegando el invierno, ¿verdad? Mi esposo
When winter began, my husband became aggressive.
Y yo le pregunté qué
I asked him what had happened. Why had he changed? But I let it pass. He said this would never happen again and asked for my forgiveness.
De verdad, el 14 de febrero, que fue el día del problema,
February 14th was the day of the problem.
el varón
My son was sick and threw up, and consequently, my daughter also threw up.
Él pensó que la niña lo había hecho a propósito, así por molestar. Y entonces,
My husband thought that my daughter had vomited on purpose to be a nuisance, but my daughter did feel sick. He grabbed my daughter with the intent to hit her, so I got in between. I didn't let him hit her, and he hit me in my arms. Why do I have to keep putting up with this, I thought. I took my mother-in-law's truck and I left. I told the kids, let's go to school, but instead, we went to the police station. Where will I go with my children? Because we will end up homeless. At the time, I didn't know shelters existed. I knew nothing of what was available. We verified the first appointment, and my first interaction was with Miriam at Beds Plus.
A lot of people in general, when they are, survivors of domestic violence, they don't know that there's programs out there that could actually help them. I am Miriam Martinez with Beds Plus. Generally, unfortunately, when there is families that are coming to us, it's because there's no support anywhere else.
Entonces, bueno, me brindaron ayuda en el shelter, ya con que me ayudaron.
So they helped me with shelter and food, which allowed me to begin working. It was a huge help.
Yo comenzaba a trabajar.
I think a lot of her strength came from her kids because she had to find a better life for them.
Cuando yo le pedía a Dios, y los niños saben eso, que yo pedía.
I would pray to God for a room to study, a room for my children, and a room for me.
Un cuarto mío, pues. Ya con eso era suficiente. Y llegamos aquí.
And when we got here, there's all this space, a kitchen. It's very spacious.
She's probably one of the most deserving out of anyone.
Dios ha sido bueno.
God has been good to me.
When I would talk to people overnight in the shelters, it's 4 a.m, somebody's got COPD, they can't sleep. You get to know their stories a little bit, and you get to understand the challenges that they're facing. My name is Mark Rudzinski, and I'm a volunteer with Beds Plus. The different services that they provide, and particularly the caseworkers, they work with the clients one-on-one. And so if it's a veteran, they might work to make sure that they're maximizing the benefits that they can get. If it's a family, Beds has created a specific program now where we'll master lease apartments so that families can move into an apartment together and have a dignified place to live as a family. And again, try to maintain that sense of normalcy while their family is going through, the trauma of being without a permanent home. And to help those people who are right on the edge of falling into homelessness and kind of providing them with the supports to stay there and stay housed. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge impact on beds. The number of people who've turned to beds for support has absolutely gone through the roof. Back in early March, we had to turn on a dime. We had to shut down our emergency overnight shelter system because it wasn't safe for our clients, it wasn't safe for our volunteers. And within 2 weeks, we got up and running a shelter-in-place situation where clients could go there, have a place to stay, to eat, take a shower, do their laundry, and kind of weather the storm of that first, kind of scary phase of the pandemic. We know that there's going to be further increase in the demand for our services as the evictions go up, but we're going to be there to take care of people and make sure that we get them through this whole thing and ultimately get them back into a positive housed situation.
Family came to us for shelter, 4 children sleeping in cars, no one going to school. The younger brothers who were older were couch surfing with friends because they wouldn't all fit in the car. They could travel in the car, but they couldn't sleep in the car. The kids needed to go to school. They needed a place to eat. They needed a place to shower to go to school so they weren't embarrassed. So it was an emergency and we had to figure it out, and it wasn't easy. My name is Javon Harris, and I am the Director of Housing for Beds Plus.
You lose your job, then you lose your house, so now what?
Yeah, living on the street, staying on the bridges, sleeping on benches. I was too old for that.
It took a long time. There was a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of ups and downs with income, and then you find yourself back in shelter. Anytime there's an emergency like that, we have to figure out the immediate need for the kids, or who's the most vulnerable. Who's disabled, who will end up in the hospital if they have another night on the street.
I almost passed away 3 times. My blood pressure was 260. I thank God I'm here.
So the kids were important to us, so we were able to get them into shelter so they could be fed every day, so they could have a place to do homework every day, so they could get registered for school.
I could cook them something, I could make them something, give them cereal, what have you, Don't have to be out in the street. Hey, Grandpa, why are we out in the street?
Getting them to change and to see a different perspective, it took steps. So just being able to show them that we are here to help you. Teaching them that their independence was important.
They showed you how to fill out the application the right way, and when you go to an interview, how to talk to the person, how to answer the questions right.
We are committed to changing lives. Every day, my team gets up and we have a plan. What do we do next with this client? It's not just, I got you housed and you're safe. Because now, once you get housed, the change begins. And from the moment we walk into your house, the moment we put the dishes in the cabinets and make the beds and, put all the new groceries in the refrigerator, that's when the change begins. So we're committed to that change. We're committed to helping people increase their education. We're committed to helping people learn that they can do more. They can do more every day. You get up and you continue to try. You continue to change. You continue to move forward day by day. So every mom, every child, every dad, every disabled person, that's not the end of their story. So we continue to help them write the rest of that story. There's so many moms and so many parents that their nightly prayer is, if I just had a little help, things would be different. And that's all they need. They just need a little help for big change.